welcome back to Midnight Grappler Animals, home of Flub Nation. Folks, they're calling it the flood. That's what they're calling it. That's what they were calling it, a drought. They were calling it the drought. They were saying dry things, but it's the flood now. We're back. I am here with a couple of tricky little trolls to talk about a comic. Lan and Salt, what's up? How's it going?
I feel rejuvenated.
I feel wet.
Ooh. Been watching Sinners, huh? So today we're back. We're here. We're gonna, for I don't know, some number of weeks with it, some interruptions that are gonna be happening. We're gonna be talking about Alasdair, Mr. Alasdair Ewing's Asgard corner, I guess. Yeah. A little detour. It's sort of tarot inclined is also sort of how I'm imagining this. And we're starting off with Loki, Agent of Asgard. When did this run?
2014 to 2015.
2014 to 2015. Thank you.
A different time.
17 main issues with a weird original sins interlude, mostly drawn by Lee Garbett, which is pretty cool to see. I think he drew all but 4 issues, I think, and then the Bianchi half of the original sin stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, most actually, yeah, only 2. He only missed 2 issues.
2 issues, right? Yeah.
Of the main series, which is crazy. 17 issues, and so he drew like 15 issues in probably like 15 months, which is pretty cool. And yeah, we're covering this because this is why. This is all my fault. I will take the blame.
Well, technically, it's my fault, because in the last episode, I mentioned that my read pile technically wasn't done yet, even after reading 41 issues.
Right.
Because there's still the entire back half of Immortal Thor, which I didn't read. And so once I mentioned that, I was like, okay, well, we might as well just cover all of Immortal Thor in one episode. And then Keigen's like, well, let's take it one step further. Let's do the whole like saga of Al Ewing's Asgard stuff. And I was like, fine, I need the test. I need to make sure I can still. Good news though. My reading I'm reading at a level that I didn't even think was possible again. I'm reading the way I did back in 2016. 17 issues in a night, 41 issues over 2 days. Oh my God, I'm like that guy who can like break a day up into like 3 separate days. Yes. 12 to 6, that's day 1. 6 to 12, that's day 2. I'm on day 3 right now.
Let's go. You're already there. We're just catching up. No, yeah. Lan was like, I think I'll just reread all of Immortal Thor, and I was like, well, buddy, I have a file on my iPad that is everything that it could possibly be related to Immortal Thor. And
a decade of review copies, right?
Yeah, exactly. And then I do have the Loki Agent of Asgard complete collection. It's sitting next to me. So I did have to read that. I'm happy to say I did bend the spine a bunch. So now it looks like a book I've actually read. And yeah, I wanted the excuse to read it. So this is a reread for me, Lan. But Salt, this is a new read for you. And this is only the second Ewing thing you've read. And so your opinion is very important to me because you haven't been in the Ewing mines for like a decade. And so you're like a fresh little baby. You just, we're cleaning the gunk off you and we're going, hey, little baby, do you like Alasdair Ewing?
Is his name really Alasdair? Or are you doing
it?
Yeah, no,
that's
and it's spelled
name.
Alasdair.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like that's the ancient way of spelling it. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Well, I am compared to a baby a lot of the time. That is true. I will open this by saying that I have many problems with this book we read today, but it is I'm enjoying it much better than Venom, and I can only
your
be
second exposure, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot this wasn't even your first exposure to Al Ewing's work. Oh my god, this is okay. Keep going.
Well, people talk about separating the art from the artist, and I'm actually thinking about separating the artist from the writer. And as objective as I want to be, I do wonder if I would have enjoyed Venom more if it wasn't the artist that was on it, let's say.
Mm-hmm. Got nasty Brian Hitch.
That's fair.
Brian Hitch's nastiest work on Venom.
Yeah.
One particularly
and not nasty
washed,
in a non-derogatory way.
Yeah. No.
It should be said.
One particularly washed critic thought that was great work of his. And to that I say, Canadian dog he is to say anything good about Hitch.
Really? Him?
He said it was so good. And it's like, he was fast. He was fast on art there. Sure. There's a speed thing. But it's crazy because like, the Death of Lex is actually good Hitch work, and it's because you can't really tell it was Hitch because the inks. And I don't even anyway. Yeah, no, Venom is a hot trash. Which I kind of want to start with Garbett anyway, because I since this series I have not been driven to read another Garbett book. He did some stuff at Image. He's might be finishing a series at Distillery right now. He's done some stuff here and there. He did an issue of Immortal Hulk and stuff like that. But
he's British. Interesting.
Oh, yeah. Well, we can't all be perfect, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think, especially going back to like Peter Cannon talking about Wingard. So how do you think? What do you think about Lee Garbett?
Is Lee Garbett the artist on this Loki book?
Yeah, almost all of it. All of it.
Mostly pretty good. It's expressive. It's whimsical, even I would say.
Yeah, whimsical is good. Whimsical, I like that.
That's a good word.
Yeah, I want to start with him just because that's like the main thing I took away from this book previously was just this is like fun looking art. It's not like technically incredible. I like the design for Loki at the end, stuff like that. I think not a lot of artists get the opportunity to be the majority artist on a run of this length either. And it's weird that it didn't turn into like a real job for him. I mean, and jumping over to Image is good. He probably made more money on that on Skyworth than
he's been doing quite a lot of consistent work at Marvel, though. Like he was on Captain Marvel for quite some time. He recently did Uncanny Spider-Man, which was the art on that was actually pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah, I like him on that too. Yeah, and it's a weird thing. I think it would be different if he did something like McKelvey did. Left Young Avengers. He did 13 issues in a year, left Young Avengers, and then he worked on Wictive for 5 years. That really went like, this is a body of work. When this is still kind of the only thing you could point to, this and Skyward, I guess, at Image, but that was only like 15 more issues. It's weird. It's interesting to me when somebody who can put out consistent work like this and then is kind of poised to do a definitive thing, just kind of sticks to the minds to some level. But I like him. He's cool. Again, his art doesn't make me go and buy a book, but I still like when you think about Marvel's current roster, I guess, of artists, he's definitely in the upper echelon. For sure. I think Marvel is very stupid to not be putting him on a book consistently.
On Immortal Thor, perhaps.
Yeah, perhaps even. It would be fantastic if
or like, you know what? Okay, I know Humberto Ramos is on Fantastic Four now, but before Garbett should have been in the mix because they had like 3 regular artists on Fantastic Four previously. Garbett easily could like just slot in onto any book and basically improve it right now at Marvel. Maybe not. I mean, even Ultimates right? Even Ultimates, I think you could throw him in there and it would do something.
I mean, it would be a good transition from for Gary. Like for Ultimates is for Gary's best work thus far,
Yeah.
at least of what I've seen. But if we're talking about like a fill-in artist, even Garbett would be a perfectly fine transition there.
Yeah.
But yeah.
But yeah, good work by Garbett. I like it. I just want to start with him because this is a very writer-driven book also. So like, I don't think there's a ton of cool moments that's like, wow, Garbett really did a super cool thing here.
I mean,
I
I
think
would
it's solid.
push back and say like later on in the run, he really gets to spread his wings art-wise, like especially as he's starting to bring in tinges of Kirby and Kirbyisms as well. Like the coloring is also doing quite a bit of work there.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the coloring is
It's a few
Woodard
different people.
Yeah, like Woodard starts
Woodard
it off and then
Fabella takes
I think
over.
Fabella for like the latter part of the run. But there's a lot of texture differences I've noticed. There are some cases where it feels more painterly in the last issue especially. His art, like his line work makes it so that it works regardless of like what kind of coloring style, I guess. And I think aside from this book, Captain Marvel actually does a great case of showcasing this, because like Tamra Bonvillain's colors over Garbett's work is both beautiful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't read that Captain Marvel. So
I don't know why I read it either. It was a different time.
Heard. Garbett, you're great. I wish publishers would use you in a smart way. And with that, let's hop into this.
Actually, before we do that, let's at least put a disclaimer in case it does come out that Garbett has some unsavory views or whatnot. If that is the case, then no, we don't want him on either books.
Fair.
Peace and love.
Hey,
your art's
Garbett,
good.
If you're a piece of shit, I retract everything, and your art sucks. No.
We'll edit in, like a full retraction if that does come out. Just ping us in the description, in the comments of this episode. Just ping us and be like, hey, what you feared happened. It's time to revise your thoughts.
It's time to fix things.
I'm totally capable of revisionism. I'm totally capable. I can do it.
I believe in you.
I mean, this entire book is about revisionism, right? Like about telling lies
you write your own story.
Going back on
Figure it out.
Write your own story. We write the story of Midnight Grappler animals. So
we can change it. With that being said, we're gonna take this arc by arc. Very short summaries, because as much as Salt, you're incredible at summarizing and keeping the flow going well on things. I hate making a summary. I hate making a summary. I say this every time I have to summarize. So it is a me thing. But this first arc 1 through 5, all Lee Garbett. It's a heist. It's a heist arc. Loki, each issue kind of focuses on Loki pulling in another character into his future heist. Why are we heisting? Well, Loki is erasing his bad deeds through running some missions for his moms. And he smells something a little fishy in that. So he gets Lorelei, Sigurd, Thor, and Verity together to do a heist with him. And he discovers evil old Loki, who is an evil and old version of himself. So anything in this arc that y'all thought was cool? Oh, one note I will make. I had never actually read the Marvel Point One short thing before now. I didn't even realize it existed, I don't think. So
trust me, this book is very good at reminding you that it exists. In fact, it's quite good at reminding you that a lot of books that aren't this book exist.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, the sword needed no explanation. It does it all in the first issue anyway. So it's a fun little story, but I didn't ever need to read it. So yeah, anything in this arc that you thought was notable? Either one of you.
I mean, for me, coming back to a run from this era is always funny because it's such a different time. Like,
Mhm.
I think part of the joy, and I think I said this in our Superior Spider-Man issue episode as well, is that like part of the joy of coming back to old runs is seeing what the status quo was like at the time. Seeing, oh yeah, Iron Man's got his black suit. Oh yeah, Thor is just about to lose his hammer or whatever, right? I think my first note that I have for this arc, at least, is comics used to have Jenny Frison covers.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember that? Remember that
She's
time?
not. I wonder if she is just making enough money off of like Something's Killing the Children.
Oh, is that what she's on now?
No, well, so she did a bunch is the answer, and they were like
okay.
super high incentives too. And so I wonder to what degree she's either still doing them or like that sort of thing is what she's been doing. But
Let me quickly look and see what she's up to. Berserker. The answer is Berserker.
Shouts.
So yeah, that's my first note.
Yeah.
Salt. What was your first note?
To continue on art, I think among Garbet's many strengths, the layouts are probably the best part about this.
The layouts are really interesting.
Yeah, like just to take one random example, there's a part where Loki and Sigurd fall into a dumpster and like keep fighting. It reads really well the way the page gets broken up. I've been really thinking about this concept of visual rhythm a lot. So the way that the pages break up at different paces and then kind of reassemble to hit those beats works really well. I think Ewing's a strong writer at this, and Garbett is playing to those strengths. And I can't say that about a lot of monthlies necessarily.
Yeah, for sure. I think that there's a bunch of fun stuff in the Sigurd issue where they fight. The title page is super cool. The big building. I mean, I think you can do that in any series, and I'm going to be happy. You just write the title on a giant building with okay vanishing points, and I'm in. And yeah, I mean, I think one of the this arc. I mean, okay, right? You look at the entire series. The only issues that aren't tie-ins at all are the first 5. Technically, I think 10 through 13 didn't have any trade dress on them, but in the actual trade, it's the Last Days arc. It's included. So 11 through 17 is all the Last Days.
Okay, so the Last Days trade dress starts with number 14.
Right. But in the actual book, the arc is called from 11 to 17. It's called Last Days. So it's like, yeah, and so it's. I agree that 11 through 13 are not Last Days trade dress, like part of the event. But they're building to it. And anyway, so like realistically, this book only has like 8 issues that aren't tie-ins. And I think this arc does a really good job in grounding everything in a way that's like, okay, we're going to be through some slop nonsense crossovers and stuff, but like this is the main cast of the series, and this is the main conflict, and that's going to continue to be happening through all of it. And I think it at least got the space to do that I think worked for it.
Yeah, I mean, Oh no, go ahead, Salt.
I have a potentially rudimentary observation or question, so forgive the basicness of this. Is this the story that largely inspired the Loki TV show?
I think there are pieces that were taken from this. Yeah.
This is a weird book to jump in on Loki for. Salt is kind of the answer.
That was gonna be my question, is because this is the start of Ewing's work on Asgard stuff, right? Like ostensibly this is where his input starts. But in the context of everything that's going on with Loki, this is like Act 2, if anything.
Even
Keigen, why did we start on Act 2?
so, because the other stuff is not Ewing.
Yeah, there's stuff
Ah,
that's
okay.
not Ewing.
Did you?
Got it.
When we get to issue 10, we'll talk about something that's there. So, and we're kind of we're inching toward there anyway, because this is I think we're good on this arc.
Yeah, just generally a good arc.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I didn't read this as it was coming out. I did read this,
okay.
around 2016, 2017. This is a reread
Nice.
for me. But divorced from what was going on in the world at the time, this is at the peak of Gamergate, to the point where it gets referenced in like the 12th issue, I think. Like, I do wonder what the reaction to Sigurd being black was back then, because I didn't get to experience that firsthand.
Yeah.
Like, nowadays, you make Sigurd black, people are going to be like, oh, wokeness is
What, in the
killing
Norse
it.
gods? What?
White Norse god that isn't white. Oh my god! But
The
like back then,
historicity. Yeah, I did read it monthly, but I wasn't tied into any Twitter discourse, I don't think. And if it was, it would have been like real squee. I guess that's kind of another note here, is that this is very much a Tumblr core book.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was that way purposefully, right? The like opening pages being Loki showering is on purpose. This is definitely for an audience that wasn't traditionally being fed by the DM, and that's fun. That's cool. I think it does it as well as like any other Tumblr comic that I like. Basically,
I think in terms of aging, it has aged better.
Mm-hmm.
Or it has spoiled itself less.
Yeah,
it's a better way of looking at it.
That's good. All right, let's do a weird little detour into Original Sins. This one is half by Garbett, half by Simone Bianchi, whose art I really hated when this series first came out. I did not enjoy the aesthetic. Now I think it rules. I kind of want to revisit the Star Wars issues he did.
So did Salt? Did you read this?
It was in the collection.
It was in the collection. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I'm glad you both got the
some of
opportunity
it.
to read it. I'm glad you both got the opportunity to read it. I didn't.
Oh, you didn't
I didn't
read it?
I mean, I read it way back when, but
Yeah.
I didn't reread it for.
It's the only thing I want to note on this. Salt, also, I want you to talk about this however much you want, but the Angela of it all is bizarre and stupid and kind of evil. I hate it. So, Salt, do you know anything about the character Angela besides what happened in this book?
I don't know why I know this, but
Beautiful.
she's like a really convoluted IP rights nightmare, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So she's a Spawn character. She's from Spawn, one issue of Spawn that Neil Gaiman wrote. And McFarlane drew.
Neil Gaiman jump scare.
Yeah, Neil Gaiman jump scare. So
We're getting one of those every episode. Last week we got one. This week we got one.
So McFarlane and Gaiman had a dispute for years over the rights to the character, with both of them kind of giving up at different points, but not figuring it out fully. And then eventually they agreed on 50% ownership of the character. And then eventually Gaiman got full ownership and basically immediately sold her to Marvel, like as soon as he had full ownership. I don't understand why he made that choice. I don't understand why Marvel bought her either. It doesn't make any sense. And I hate it. I hate it completely, all of it. It's so weird too, because this book doesn't feel like something either James Aaron or Al Ewing would have wanted to write or have in their what they were doing. And somehow both of them had to write this book. Bizarre. Extremely weird. Yeah, I don't understand why this character exists the way she does, but I guess it was an excuse to have one a different character, but a new trans character in Marvel in an Angela series. So I guess there's sort of a win there. Bizarre situation. Either way, this series is this arc is weird. Salt, what are your reactions to the arc though?
Did it come out after Thor Ragnarok? Because it feels pretty reminiscent of Thor Ragnarok.
No, in
No,
fact,
it was
this
before.
is 4 years before, or
Yeah.
no, 3 years
Wow.
before.
Taika Waititi never beating the hack allegations.
So true. So true.
Yeah, it feels kind of out of left field, and I didn't read the whole arc.
Congratulations. That's okay.
I'm like, I've been spending this whole episode trying to catch up, and I'm still woefully behind. It feels very out of left field, frankly. It almost feels like the Ewing was mandated to use this Angela character.
Yeah, I think that's totally fair to say. It's also, it's a weird thing that felt forced on Ewing and Aaron, because Aaron was doing all the Thor stuff at the time. A very good Thor run, I'll add. And so it's this weird thing though, where it doesn't quite matter to Loki or Thor either, especially when Original Sins is where Thor loses his hammer. So it's like, this is such a bizarre thing to exist. If anything, I do think it lends to Agent of Asgard at least like some more of the gender fluid stuff that it's going to play with and kind of stick with toward the end. It gives an opportunity to have Loki actually be a woman for the majority of the book. So if nothing else, there's that. And then I think it brings Odin kind of back into the picture too. Doesn't free him, but does it free him? I think it frees him. Yeah. So I guess there's that too, but it's really kind of forgettable and weird. And yeah, well, we could totally move on from it. I just really wanted the Angela stuff is so stupid.
I think the thing to note here is to, like, aside from maybe two runs in Ewing's bibliography that aren't, just minis, that something you're going to notice is like he will tie in to books
he loves
or events and whatnot, and he will like use it to the best of his ability. Like, people call him the fixer for a reason, and I think most of the time it does work. Like even the Axis stuff, like you didn't need to read Axis to know what was going on here.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if Salt needed to read Axis.
Yeah,
we know Brayson did, so.
Yeah. But I mean, the thing is, this also isn't just a Ewing thing, right? Like the propensity for events and like having them run through all the books. Like we had in this run alone, we had Original Sin, we had Axis, we had Last
Secret
Days,
Wars.
which is just a Secret Wars
Yeah.
lead in, right? Like that's 3 within the span of a year. Right, and I think that's probably one of the bigger legacies of Axel Alonso's tenure at Marvel. But yeah, it's not something we need to explore too heavily here, but it is like, a thing to note about just comics at the time.
Yeah. I mean, it's the kind of the nadir of his time as EIC2, I think. Original Sin into Axis was a mess. Like that was 2 real stinkers that took over a good amount of the line, both of them too. So real weird period, but also like this book isn't made worse by him. Maybe. Well, again, we'll I think the axis of it all will kind of shake it out with Salt. But yeah, Original Sin arc is weird. I get why they collected it with the collection, but still weird. On to, I'm kind of breaking up the Axis stuff to the Doom issues and then the non-Doom issues. So 6 to 7 are the Doom issues. Take place mostly in Latveria by George Coelho. Salt, do you have any experience with Axis, the Marvel Comics event? Not the Nazis.
Actually, now
idea.
is the time to disclose if you have ever dealt with.
Oh, right.
The future of the podcast depends on it.
I did work with an avowed white supremacist in my first job at a restaurant when I was a teenager. So yes, I am familiar with
right?
the Axis.
Non-willingly? That was
What do you mean
something-
non-willingly?
I mean, you didn't consent to working with a
needed
Nazi.
to.
No,
Wait
he
a
was a
minute.
dishwasher with me.
He was a dishwasher. Okay.
Nazi dishwasher. Got it.
Nazi
Yeah.
dishwasher. Got it. Okay.
So
Otherwise, though.
yeah, he probably had a swastika tattoo.
Okay. Not, and
Okay.
he was like, this was not about Buddhism. He's very.
I'm specifically. This is specifically not the manji. Look at the orientation.
No, what is Axis, the Marvel Comics event? What are
Oh,
you
it's a
talking
really
about?
stupid event that for some reason Brayson needed to read for Secret Wars. It's crazy. I have not read a single issue of Axis. I was reading a ton of Marvel comics at the time, and I was like, no.
I skipped out on Axis.
I was like, I'm not
time.
doing this. Why would I do this? I did read Uncanny Avengers, and then I think I continued reading it after Axis even, and I was just like, I'm just not reading Axis.
Isn't that like
Like-
the whole point of that run though? Like, isn't that what that run leads up to?
Yeah, I never read Axis. I was just like, whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
No. Yeah, that book sucked from top to
So
bottom.
Salt. The core premise is: what if heroes were evil and villains were good?
Yeah.
Whoa, that's
And
crazy.
It starts with them like resurrecting Red Skull, but with Xavier's brain, and that's why the hate wave happens in Latveria. And that's all you need to know. That's
Yeah.
it. If you were,
You know, the only thing I really want to mention from that arc is when little Valeria Richards says, "Can I have some ice cream?" And Doom says, "Doom will consider your request." It's very designed for Twitter retweets, but it
Yeah.
worked on me. I liked it.
Yeah.
It was cute.
Yeah.
I like it. I like that note. I think
Remember, this was an era
think-
where Twitter retweets weren't really as big a thing.
it was
You know, people
Tumblr
weren't-
reblogs at the
Tumblr
time.
reblogs. is
That
where
was
it
the
really at.
real currency. And yeah, I mean, it's funny, the Valeria Doom stuff I was reading, and it was like, oh, this is nice. I miss there being Valeria Doom stuff. And at the same time, I was a little bit like, I don't know. I think I ended up coming around and being like, this is great. At first, I think I a little bit was going, this could be better, right? This could be better. But I think by the end, it was just like, no, these are fun. This is a really fun couple issues.
I think I came around on it when issue 7, like the resolution of this like little arc here is Loki unleashing a truth nuke.
Oh yeah.
Like that's the resolution. It's like Loki unleashes a truth nuke and saves Latveria.
Yeah, that is cool. I also just like Valeria noticing Verity being invisible. That's great. You know, it's like when you have an invisible mom, you know, that's fun. It's fun stuff.
Yeah.
It's a fun couple of issues. They're very memorable to me too. I like when I think about this run, I think about the Doom issues. Maybe not primarily, but it's definitely a thing that stuck. And it's just like, yeah, it's cool. I like, and the art, the change in art is, there's good use of that. And I think Ewing does that pretty well across a lot of his series too, is he knows how to write for a guest artist. Next, all right, the rest of the Axis stuff where Loki gets to be worthy. He's good. It's fun. It's fun, the depiction of what Axis actually does. It turns all the good qualities bad, all the bad qualities good. And for a character like Loki or a person like Loki, that means something different than somebody who's purely good or purely evil. You know, that it's like he's still not fully either one when everything's flipped, and that's fun. I think it's a good, very simple story in that vein, but it's a fun one. The issue 9, I kind of do want to know what y'all think about issue 9, because it's like it's very classic superhero melodramatic, I thought.
Issue 9 is the one
Where he actually gets the hammer. He fights Thor on the moon.
Yeah, that's very like classic superhero comics, I find.
I did not make it that far.
Okay.
So where did you stop? Like, hold on. Okay, so we were talking about this before.
As of 20 seconds ago, I made it halfway through issue 8. I've been reading this whole time.
Okay. Beautiful.
So here's the thing. As of last night, I had read 0 issues, and Salt had read 3/4 of this run.
I had not read 3/4. I had read what I thought was 3/4.
What did you think was 3/4?
I thought 5 issues was 3/4.
What? What?
You told me it was 400 pages, and so I thought 300 pages was 3/4.
Math
Yeah,
is
that
hard.
makes sense. No, wait, hold on. 300 is 3/4 of 400.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. So I thought he would have been into Last Days. Oh, this is so funny.
I might have switched the pages remaining with the pages I had read in retrospect.
Yeah.
So you were actually
so
one
you were
quarter.
1/4.
Yes. That's what it was. I was
You were
1/4.
actually 1/4.
Oh,
Meanwhile,
that's
I read
funny.
all 17 issues and more within a night. So,
Oh,
like I
Well,
said
you
before,
get a gold
I'm
star,
reading.
Lan.
Listen, I'm reading at a level that I didn't think I could read at before. Right? Like I'm zooming through. Put another 17 issue run in front of me. I'll clear that.
Well,
I'll clear that. I'll
well,
do next week's
that-
issue. I'll do next week's issues today. I won't though. I'll do it next Friday.
I fully believe you could, and that does speak to kind of my main thesis, my main conclusions of this, which I could spot as early as the first arc, but I might as well say it now since I didn't get any further than this. I said that the Venom book was completely impenetrable if you weren't up with the continuity. This is not at that level, but it's close, and there's so much going on here that if you're completely out of Marvel continuity like me, it's very easy to read 2 pages and then go, wait, what did I just read? And then have to go back and read it again. And even if you do that reread, there's still all these questions that aren't answered. The problem in that is a deeper one, which is I don't necessarily know if I want those questions answered. It's that this is a great book for someone caught up on Marvel continuity. I think that helps you read it quicker because I don't know about the Marvel continuity, and frankly, I don't care about a lot of the Marvel continuity. What I walk away with is a pretty good pitch that then gets bogged down in all the
History.
junk of monthlies and tie-ins and crossovers.
Right. Now, so this wasn't an attempt at torturing you because I kind of know that's how you react to these things. Partly it was a thing of oh, of course, I want Salt to be on this, so read this garbage that he might think is trash. But also, I want you to flip over to issue 10.
Let's do it.
Flip over. There's in the middle, there's a text page.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Now,
why is that just suddenly in between 2 pages of art?
It's part of the issue.
Yeah,
it's part of the
okay,
issue
yeah.
of comic.
It's
Now,
diegetic.
This, yeah. He's telling his story. He's telling this to Thor. This is a perfect explainer of everything you needed to know before opening this book.
You just need to get 10 issues in. You just needed to get.
Basically, I mean, obviously, with the tie-ins, it's it just depends on the type of reader you are. I've never read Axis. I don't give a shit. I kind of understand. Basically, I think I've maybe read the Wikipedia summary, right? But it's I understand the hate wave or whatever. The wave changed people's personalities, and now Loki's good, and he can hold Mjolnir. Cool, right? So apart from the tie-ins, it doesn't explain the tie-ins, but it does explain Loki's history up to issue 1 of this series. And I think one of the bizarre things about this book, this could still sit here where it's important to be read dramatically in the story, diegetically, but it should have been a first page of the collection. I think.
Wait. Do you not get the recap pages in the collection?
No.
Oh,
Does not collect the recap pages. No.
what the fuck? Why?
We had the same problem in the Venom book, Lan. Do you remember?
Did we? Oh,
We had this exact same discussion.
oh my God, Marvel. So really, this isn't Assault is Lost thing. This is a Marvel fucking sucks at collecting their own comics issue.
I got to this page.
I read this. Listen, I read this issue by issue. Every single issue starts with a nice recap of everything that happened. Like the first issue of this comic, the first page of it is a nice recap that goes over everything that happened up until this run. And you're telling me you didn't get
one page like that at the very beginning. We get the page at the start that says, this is the story of Loki. He was adopted. He was trapped in this definition of being a god of evil, and he died, and he was reborn. I got all that, and I think that the page that you showed me, Keigen, helps it's too. And
pretty similar.
I agree with Lan. They should have had more of that. It's not so much that I don't get what's going on with Loki, and I like that, and I don't even hate this book. This book isn't torturing me. It's more like it's all the other stuff surrounding Loki that makes it. To borrow the word I used from the Venom run, it makes it hostile to me. Like this character Valeria, is it Valeria? There's two V characters. This redhead broad he's with. Verity. I have no idea what her deal is. I have no idea why she's here.
She has never existed before this run.
Yeah.
And her deal does get explained over the course of the run. Like it's one of those things where it's like
about explaining her.
Yeah.
I think because this starts with so many characters that I barely know, it's very disorienting. Like, I don't know what's up with this Verity character. And then we have this triple goddess that I've got to understand right after that.
It's just the All-Mother. It's just mom's mom. It's just mom.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all you really need to know for the context of this. Just moms, like the DC Black Label books.
Yeah.
I think if this had been done closer to a Black Label style book with this focusing on Loki becoming worthy, not trapping it in so much continuity stuff, like taking greater care to show me what these characters are about, I think I could really love something like this. As it is, I don't hate it. It just feels mired in continuity stuff.
I think this goes back to the debate that was going on when, DC started putting out those compact comics, is like, what does Marvel have in terms of something that you can just hand to someone and say, this is a unique work, like you don't need to.
Yeah, this is like self-contained.
Right, like, this is self-contained. This is something like a Hush or a Joker or a.
You mean a bad comic? Because that's what you're naming.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm like, I should probably name some of the examples that weren't utter garbage. A Far Sector. There we go. A Far Sector. But I think the key difference here is that like the big works in Marvel's bibliography, I guess, are these big sagas, right? Like the thing that separates Marvel from DC is that like when you're reading a character or a writer, even you're signing on to sit down with this saga, and you're gonna sit with the saga. You're gonna read 100 and something issues of this saga, and that is like the all-time great run, right? Like when people recommend you a Marvel comic, they're like, oh, you need to read the Peter David Incredible Hulk run. You got to read the Immortal Hulk run. You got to read, I should probably use examples that aren't Hulk.
You did get the two that matter, though. So
the two, I did get the two that mattered.
I mean, Claremont's X-Men, right?
Claremont's X-Men. That's one of that's
ridiculous.
The definitive, like, you need to read this entire
Ultimate
run.
Spider-Man, Stanley, Spider-Man, both major artists, like huge these, and I think that's Marvel had until 2015 basically grounded themselves, put themselves in a foundation versus DC, where DC was like, here's 12 issues ever since like the 80s. Marvel basically always has been like, no, actually every story matters. again, up to 2015 they had never rebooted. So it's like everything is in continuity. So if Roy Thomas or Al Ewing want to grab something from 30, 40, whatever years ago, they can, and it like makes sense.
If anything, the phenomena of creating these like unique works has been more recent with the wave of 5-issue, 4-issue minis, right? Up until this, like at this point, 2014, 2015, it was the idea that if you're coming in to read these comics, you're coming in for the long run, right? Like you start with Superior Spider-Man, but you're going to keep reading Spider-Man after Superior is done. If you read Loki, you're going to read whatever comes afterwards. If you read Secret Wars, you're going to read everything that comes before it, comes after it. It's a retention thing, and it's a monthly reader thing. And I think at the end of the day, Salt, especially after last week, you mentioned that the monthly reader thing just isn't a mindset you subscribe to, right? Like, I think that's, there's nothing wrong with that. But I think it makes it really hard to recommend. In. Yeah, I mean, even just recommend something like Loki, Agent of Asgard, because it is that, like, you need to get into the mindset of being a monthly reader.
Yeah, I also think, and I might be pathologizing stuff for you. I'm not being a psychologist or anything, but like, I think part of it too is the tie-in bullshit overcomplicates everything else, right? Because it's like this book does like much better than a lot of other books. It introduces the main cast and tells you everything you need to know about them. But I think being like, okay, this is part of a larger world. So what of this stuff is a reference? What, like, it makes sense that this book kind of begs that of you, even though Ewing has basically invented all of these characters. I wouldn't even say begs you. It's more
invites. It invites you to think that way, right? Like, like when half this run is tie-ins, right? Like your first instinct when you see a new character is, oh, is this a character from another thing that this is tying into? Or is this,
are they referencing something?
Yeah, like is Sigurd from some other Marvel thing that I need to know about? Is Verity is someone that I need to know about? Like, have I ever seen a character like this before? The nature of the tie-in every other arc thing is that, like, you're gonna invite those kinds of questions from the people reading your comic.
Yeah, right? Even if it's a comic that's actually pretty new reader friendly, like for what it is, at least I think this is still a fine jumping on point, right? There's psychos who will be like, you have to read Kieran Gillen's Thor first, and then his Journey into Mystery, and then his Young Avengers to really understand Ewing's. I mean, sure, man, whatever. If you like doing reading lists and using Marvel Unlimited in the most annoying way possible, then like, cool, go for it. But like, I think this is an okay starting point for, especially where Immortal Thor is concerned. Like, we don't need the Gillen stuff. This explains fine. I think some stuff doesn't hit as hard, but it's fine.
Yeah, I agree with all of that. And I think if I was someone who was more interested in diving into the Marvel universe, like a lot of this would be really, really fun for me. And I agree with your pathologizing, as it were. Like, I think this never quite hit the running speed it needed for me, is another way of putting it. Like, by the time we got to issue 4 or 5, I was starting to find my footing. And then we're off to the 10th realm with the Angela story. And it feels like it's taking the wind out of the sails of what was being set up before. And so this book is constantly, from my perspective, struggling to get on its footing. I believe it gets better later. Skimming through right now, it seems to stay a little more on topic. But yeah, I fully agree that the tie-ins are definitely arguably the main source of the problem.
So I didn't read the original Sin mini for this, and I'm wondering, like, does that feel like a time waste in the scope of what you've read so far?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, totally. It totally does. And it's nothing against, like, Bianchi. Like, I think the art there is pretty cool. I think even as far as like a corporate mandated tie-in goes, it's nowhere near the worst. There's some fun stuff there. I mean, clearly it was good enough that Hollywood decided to pilfer about 90% of it. It's not the writing itself, not the story itself. That's probably how it relates to everything else.
In the context of the run, though, like it does feel like noise. Which is,
I've been thinking about this watching Twin Peaks and reading Moby Dick at the same time, right? And that there's like a difference between a novel and a series. And I didn't even think about this while reading Agents of Asgard, really, but a lot of comics can't figure out that balance that well, right? I mean, you have a ton of 12-issue series that are novels, right? They're every Tom King work that's under an ongoing that's like 12 issues or less is designed as a novel, right? And I was thinking about this in context of Moby Dick in particular, because it's like I'm not sure I love that book until I was pretty deep into it, and there were plenty of chapters that I was just kind of like, okay, that was kind of boring, whatever. Or even like streaks of chapters that are just like, okay, fine, it's cool, I'm not sure about this, whatever. Versus a TV series, I think I'm maybe like a novel. I'm very patient with, because I'm like, this is an entire thing. Maybe this isn't good until the end. A TV series, I'm less patient with. It needs to be good constantly, or I'm like, what's the point? Why are you even doing this? Like, it has to be good in its episodic things. And like some TV shows are also built more like a novel. And like, I don't know, I think that's interacting here in an interesting way, because I think a series like Preacher, right? Its arcs, not that its arcs are bad, but it's built differently than a novel. It's a longer thing, and I almost think the 10th Realm, the problem with it is it doesn't work in the novel that is Agent of Asgard, but it would work in the series. But I'm also like not sure Agent of Asgard really works if it's long enough to be called that like TV series length thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I see what you're saying. It's not like I need constantly rising stakes. It's not that you need everything to, capital M matter. You can have characters going on adventures that can be self-contained, but as a reader, you can also tell when something doesn't belong, and like for me, coming into this, like, I feel like this is really about the Loki versus Loki conflict. If you had to really summarize it tightly, right? It's like the good Loki, the good young Loki struggling against the evil old Loki, and can he be something more? And that all feels like it goes out the window entirely in that arc.
Yeah.
In the 10th Realm. I mean, and just to like, I really don't hate this. I feel
no, I don't think you hate it at all.
Where this book got really exciting for me was this was much earlier in that first arc when he stabs the older Loki. I want to read this monologue real quick, where he goes, "Yes, the truth is in my heart. I cannot lie even by accident. You think I'm the Loki that was, dolt, simpleton. I am what will be. I am the destiny you run from but will never escape, because nobody else wants you to. I am King Loki. I am your future. I am you, and I'm dreadfully prone to histrionics. Do excuse me. I'm burning, you see, forever and ever burning. You'll understand when you're my age." Like, there's a lot going on there. It's nothing revolutionary, but it sets up like what this conflict is going to be, and I wanted that conflict to be more foregrounded. So to then finish the arc in the 10th Realm, and then we immediately go into the Axis thing, I'm completely lost at sea in this book. And at that point, it's a matter of proportions, right? I now have more issues not about the thing it's supposed to be about than the issues that were about what it's supposed to be about.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I also, as like, I like this run, right? I've read this. I think this is my probably maybe third time reading it. I don't know. I can't remember if I put off reading it when I was reading my Ewing like cosmic stuff or not. So this could be my second time, but I also think it's worth it to look at it and go, I like this thing, but I think they did this wrong with it, right? And yeah, I mean, I think that's all super fair to especially look at the axis of it all, as much as it is kind of a load bearing pillar, right? The him becoming good part, becoming worthy of Mjolnir, like his whole fight with Thor is maybe not load bearing, but it is supportive of the overall theme. It also is kind of buying time. It's kind of like paying what needs to be paid for a bigger conflict to happen later, you know? But all that is kind of, if you can see that in the thing, then is it pulling off the magic trick of like engaging me and making me excited about the thing? And I don't know if the answer is really like clear on that. But yeah, it's fun to think of like the middle part is what's in the way of all the bangers too. Like poor Salt. He got lost in the muck.
Well, it's interesting the way they market their own materials, right? Like, you know, Lan was saying like how much of a fail it is to not include the summaries at the start of the issues, even in the collected edition, right? Like it seems redundant, but it'd be helpful there. But like, yeah,
I mean,
I think
it's a preservation of the original reading experience, right? Like,
Right.
it, like I mentioned before, like this is meant for the monthly reading experience. So like, it's funny to try and reformat it in a way that removes that, right? Like the idea that it's weird. It begets the question of like what it means to read monthly versus reading it in trade, and like what you lose out on. You know, like I mentioned last episode with Get Fury, you know, there's the letters page. You know, those never get reprinted in trade paperbacks, but in the monthly reading experience, that is like, you
Part
know,
of the book.
a part of the book, right? So yeah, it's a clash of intent, I feel, when you do create these like you know, collections of a monthly experience.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's weird because reading DC puts their credits in the art typically for the single issues. And so as you're reading the collections, you get the credits. They don't need an editorial page to list the credits, whereas Marvel does that. Marvel has a page that they print every month showing the credits, and that's also why they have space to do the recap pages. That then, well, why are we going to print that? And then it also gets into like, okay, well, a collected edition should have some kind of extras in the back, you know, sketches and stuff like that, which I don't know that I agree with, but clearly Marvel thinks that's true. And so it's also just a weird quirk of not really a weird quirk, but it's a publishing decision Marvel makes where, you know, even the covers aren't technically part of the story that's going to be collected, I guess. It's like there's editorial pages and then there's the actual story. So, but I do think, I don't know, I think Journey into Mystery might collect those recaps, but I can't remember and I don't have it anymore. So it's a selective thing. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't, I think.
Well, since I didn't read the later arcs, all I can really contribute here is how confused a lot of the choices made me. But if you guys want to continue with the rest of the arcs of this, I can sit here on standby and jump in if I have anything relevant.
I mean, you're gonna have to read it.
Yeah.
The thing is, if not today, you will before next week.
So you go ahead and finish that. But
yeah, you go ahead and finish the book while
there's a couple things I do So I don't think I've decided on if I feel like the ending is too wanky or not.
I it's hmm. It's different reading it now.
Yeah, it just feels twee now to a degree.
It does, but I think also with everything that has happened with this version of Loki since then, like rereading Thor 24, 2022 book in which the immediate follow-up to this run occurs, it feels, I don't know, melancholy in some ways.
Yeah.
I don't really have much to say about the rest of the run, like, other than, it was good. There's a lot of good stuff in there. Some fantastic art from Garbett in there.
Yeah, those last few issues he does go hard.
Yeah. I think, it is another case where it's like, oh, we just had this arc with Loki and, with the old Loki, but now we're suddenly launching into the last days of the universe. What's going on? There's that aspect of it, but yet another case where it's like does well with what it's been handed.
I think I think there were a lot of missed opportunities with the last days stuff. Like you could have told the last story for every superhero conceivably. You could have just told, especially they had enough time. Hickman, when he started Avengers, they knew it was building toward this, or at least they thought, right? So they could have planned it much better. Obviously, it's comics. But I think this did about as well as you could have, where it preserves the continuity of Loki too, which is fun. Not that really matters. Not that it didn't preserve the continuity of every character, and Secret Wars didn't actually matter anyway at the end of the day. But just the idea of him being a survivor of the original universe is really cool to me. So I like that, and I think it's his whole addressing the committee is fun, and I think also that wraps it back around to not being too twee, because he's just like, I don't know, at the end, which is fun. I also want to Verity, as much as Salt, you're confused about Verity. I think she is a very fun evolution of the concept of the normal friend, like the normal side character in superhero stuff. I think she worked really well throughout the whole series as that, as much as she had a superpower, it's a very normal power, and she's somebody who Loki could just kind of like hang out with pretty easily, and that's basically how she's used throughout the series.
Loki.
What?
Loki, you said Loki.
Oh, Loki. Yeah. And then the Loki as Doctor Who. That take?
No, this is the first time I'm hearing about it.
Okay. Because Ewing has said this.
I mean, I can.
So that tinges, and that tinges the last arc for me a lot.
Just a seed that just germinates at light speed. Holy
and it's clearly the take, especially as soon as you read 24. Sorry, 24. It also kind of clicks into place where it's like, oh fuck, he's writing Doctor Who comics. So that also affects the reading for me. Because that is his intent.
Well, I'm glad I read that issue before.
Yeah, but now you get to read Defenders. But that's pretty much it for this series. I like it. So I mean, even if you speed read the end, you got to understand the last pages, basically.
I did it while you guys were talking.
The Asgard War doesn't matter.
You just read through the remaining 7 issues. You took it personally when I said that I read 17 issues in a night. Like, let me just lock in right now and read the remaining 8 issues.
I wanted to like this, and I think if they had just cut half of the tie-ins out, this would have been a better package.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that's also it's inextricable from the
the nature of monthly comics. Like, you know, even with this collected edition, you could make the argument that you could include more, right? It's never done.
It's I would liken it to like capturing a moment of time in a bottle, and I think I said the same thing about Superior Spider-Man, where it's like some of these things just aren't going to be captured because, like a photo, you know, you only get what's within the frame. What's not within the frame is not going to be visible. Thanks to the power of AI, we can actually imagine what the world outside the frame. No,
Shouts.
But you know, this is very much a snapshot, and I think that is also a good, you know, bottom line for this book. Like, it's about stories, you know, it's about what it means to rewrite a story, to overwrite a story, and what it means to be like this blip in the context of, you know, a large saga. Because in many ways, this run was a blip. You know, 1 year of this, and then the next book after this was Vote Loki, the Tom King concept that was bought out by Marvel and given to Chris Hastings.
I never read that, so
I didn't either.
Yeah.
Is it an allegory for the threats to democracy?
Probably.
So for context, this book came out in 2016, Salt.
Gonna have to think about that one.
Yeah.
What was he trying to say?
Maybe we'll do Vote Loki and Rorschach together. And anyway, yeah, no, I think that's. It's funny because I think if any book is going to tie in with other things, I do think it's a Loki book, especially the Loki that's so obsessed with stories, and the book that wants to make itself an important part of the thing, right? Like, or Loki wants to overwrite things and become a real Loki kind of thing. But I also don't think the story itself really presents that on a metatextual level, so it doesn't really matter. I do wonder if there's a way to have massaged all of what happens in this book, the axis of it all, especially, into being a little bit more smooth. Just because there are a lot of points where it's like, oh yeah, check out Axis to understand what happened on the other half of this conversation, and it's like, oh, I'm not going to do that, but that's unfortunate, kind of. I do think
jumping ahead to part 2. Sorry, that was rude.
Hey, yeah. So next time, done with part 1, done with Agent of Asgard. We're moving on to Defenders, both Defenders minis. The collections have Thor number 24. If you have the single issues, you also have to read that Thor 24.
Keigen, you should also tell Salt right now what order to read them in. Cause
I think they're in.
Otherwise,
I think they're in the order.
There is no Thor
order.
book in here. There's Defenders 1, 2, Venom 17, 18, and something called Resurrection of Magneto.
Yeah.
So what's going to happen is Salt is going to read that in the following order. Defenders Beyond, the book that came before Defenders.
They have numbers.
Yeah, but guess what? The numbers don't matter.
I put 1, 2, 3, 4,
Defenders. 5. No, you didn't. You put 2.
Go to part 2.
It says Defenders, there are no
Go to part
rules,
2.
and then Defenders Beyond.
Yeah, which is the correct order. Yeah.
Oh.
Man, practice your literacy skills.
See, the thing is, I'm reading it the way Salt would read it. You think Salt's going to pay attention to those numbers at the start? Salt is going to see, because right now...
Salt's going to read Defenders and he's going to say, I'm 4/5 of the way done, is what's going to happen.
I feel really cared for. I think you understand the multiple ways I can mess this up.
No, it really, like, we're baby proofing this. We're baby proofing this episode for you.
Thank you.
We just have to make sure you actually read.
Just remember, the years are not an indicator of order.
No.
Well, they
are in order.
Is beautiful. I'm very excited for that.
I'm very happy about that. Yeah, so we're gonna do Defenders. We're gonna do both Defenders series that Ewing and Javier Rodriguez did. Then we're going to do 2 issues of Venom, 17 and 18. Those are the I call them the Animal Man issues. And then Resurrection of Magneto, which will be
Resurrection of Magneto is the one that we'll talk about it next episode. But why?
I know earlier I said I didn't want to torture you, but Resurrection of Magneto is a little bit. I want to torture you.
All right.
So
I deserve a little bit of torture.
I think everything here I like more than Agent of Asgard, though, and I like Agent of Asgard. These are comics that I think I actually like. Defenders, just bask in the art. Also, I'm excited for this one. So yeah, I already said the reading order. If you want to follow along, go for it. I actually think this is going to be 2 weeks away because I think our next episode. Oh wait, when is Godzilla?
Godzilla
that's
is the
2
week
weeks.
of the 17th, I think.
So Defenders and stuff will be next week, and then Immortal Thor will be later in the month for you, dear listener, to understand where we're going on this journey. Then I can
finally finish my journey. I can finally finish
just in time for the new just in time for the new Thor #1 issue to come out.
Yeah, you mean the Mortal Thor?
Whatever, I couldn't remember the
whatever it says in the solicits.
Subtitle.
Whatever it says in the solicits.
Dumb. But I think that brings us to the end of this journey into Agent of Asgard.
Oh, they're gonna say it's Journey into Mystery.
I thought I was gonna say that too, but it's not. That's not the book, so this wouldn't really be appropriate. Thank you for listening. If you think about it, dear listener, we only exist if you listen to us. We're not real for all you know. We're not real people. You don't know. We could be AI. We could be very, very something.
Well, if we were AI, our output would probably be a bit faster.
That's true. Yeah, we ran out of water is what happened. It's really dry here because of our no. Thank you though. Thank you for listening. We like to have fun. We like to do this. If you want to go beyond just listening, you could give us a good review, a 5-star review with some critical points inside of it, and we'll say is what is our pitch to you. On your podcast app of choice, I think Apple matters the most. I think that's the most important one for algorithmic purposes. But even if you whatever, you say it somewhere, or what, better yet, tell a human being, hey, Midnight Grappler Animals, they talk shit about the things that need to be talked shit about. That's what you could do. That'd be nice. If you could go a step further, that'd be cool too. And check out our Patreon. Our Patreon has a new series on it. So you don't have to you just have to go there to see it. Common Ride Along. We're going through every Kamen Rider series, me for the first time watching the first episode, and we're putting them head-to-head tournament style to pick the one that we're going to do. Go on over to Midnight Grappler Animals. Patreon.com/Midnight Grappler Animals. Go over there, and that's going to be a whole show. It's a whole thing that we're doing. It's very fun, and you can listen to us figure out which one I'm going to watch on there. Of course, backing us gets you a bunch of bonus episodes. $5 a month gets our whole back catalog, B-sides, and special thing in Discord as well. Special channel, which is pretty cool. So if you would so kindly do that, go for it. Again, that's patreon.com/Midnight Grappler Animals. Questions, comments, concerns, midnightgrappleranimals@gmail.com, or our Blue Sky, which you can just add us whenever, just yap at us. It's cool. It's fine. And of course, you could just join the Discord too. It's fun. Other than that, I think it's time for Tastemaker's Grab Bag. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first this time. I rarely ever go first.
Go first.
Hey, Lan, you go
first. I go first. Oh my god. The first thing I'm going to recommend is Squid Game.
Oh.
I know this may come as a surprise, but I watched Squid Game for the first time this year.
Yo.
I have never seen Squid Game up until 4 weeks ago.
Wait, so did you watch both seasons?
I watched all 3 seasons.
There's 3 seasons. Hold the phone. There's more than 2?
Keigen. The third one just came out, and that's the reason why I watched it. I
That's
waited until the
crazy.
show was ending.
I haven't had Netflix in years.
Yeah, I waited until the show was ending to watch the whole thing. Just, part of it was so that I could, watch, because I missed the train on watching it before the hype cycle the first time around. And then the second season came out, and I'm like, well, I know the third season's going to be the last one, so I might as well just wait. And then, the third season was coming out, so I'm like, you know what? We're past the hype cycle of the first season. We're past the hype cycle of the second season. What better time than now to watch it? And so I watched it, and I liked it.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah, that's
so that was
cool.
my first recommendation.
Very
My
nice.
second recommendation is the new Clips album, Let God Sort 'Em Out. 10 out of 10 album. Strong contender for my album of the year. I've listened to it too many times to count. It's
Damn.
good. It's fucking good. Pusha T does fantastic work on it, but this really does feel like a homecoming album for Malice in many ways. Good album. But those are my two recs for this week.
Very nice. Salt, what you got?
I'm going to recommend something from EA Games, everyone's
Wow.
favorite darling indie
Ooh.
publisher.
Huh.
Is it F1 2025? I've heard
Is
good
it
things
F1?
about that one. Oh,
No, I'm recommending Split Fiction.
Mm.
Really fun
Okay.
co-op gameplay, and what's cool is you can either do couch co-op or you can do online co-op, but the other person doesn't need to own the game, and that it's
Oh.
cross-platform.
Okay. How do you invite
So-
them?
It's like you send like a code or something, or you have to be friends with them. But like if I could play with you on your PlayStation or your PC or whatever, because I have the game,
Huh.
which is really tight.
That's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it for
Very
me.
Cool.
Nice.
All right. I wrestled with myself on this one. Okay. So first up is Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. This movie made me mad at fandom because how could you be mad about this movie? This incredible film. How could you be mad that it didn't give you what you wanted plot wise? Shut up, you pissy baby. Amazing movie. I am gonna be Robert Rodriguez pilled for nostalgia reasons, and I'm gonna be Lynch pilled for probably the rest of the year because of Twin Peaks. Fire Walk with Me, incredible film, fantastic. Oh my gosh. I went into The Return like super excited because of this movie. Insane. The other one, it's a book, The Moon and Serpent Bumper Book of Magic. This took me a while to get through because they are giant pages with tiny font. Magic book written by Alan and Steve Moore. Just like a very cool presentation of their concept of magic, of what it is. A very like reasonable, balanced approach to it of just like offering explanations, but also being like, whatever, dude, just believe in it however you believe in it, and if you think it has power, it has power. Really cool presentation of the thing. And as I was reading the Moon and Serpent Bumper Book of Magic, I was also reading The Invisibles. And I thought after I finished volume 1 of The Invisibles, I was like, this will definitely be in the grab bag. And then I read volume 2 and I'm like, I don't know that I would put The Invisibles in the grab bag. So I'm holding it above the bag. It's in my hand tightly. I'm reserving the right to add it until I finish volume 3, but I'm not sure right now. I'm not sure. So this is the wrestling I'm having. I'll probably get around to it later this month.
Tastemaker's Purgatory.
Yeah, it might be, and I'm just stating it now. I'm not sure it's going to be in there. I am reading it. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know if the Jill Thompson of it all will push it into the bag or not. But that's it. I think that's it for this episode. and this grab bag. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here. And thank you for listening, dear listener. Until next time.
Keep on
Keep on
grappling.
grappling.
The hell was that?
Even more perfect than usual.
I was rooming and I was peeling out.
Oh, okay. Thought you were like one of those like video game enemies, like one of the chargers. You were like, and then
Yeah.
Mario does a spin and knocks you like 5 fucking million miles away.
Damn. That's far as hell.